emodels.co.uk. Make something awesome. Hey everyone, Foxx here. After months of me nagging, my good friends and channel sponsors over at emodels.co.uk have recently expanded their stock to become something rare here in the UK. Retailers of Gunpla. Yes! Now, for many of you, this is excellent news, but there will be tons of you who have no idea what this means. So I'm here to explain, what are Gunpla? Now, this may be a long video as there is a lot to cover, so buckle up, stick with me. Millions of years ago in the 1970s, when I was a kid and it was all crispy fingers, pancakes and Action Man, yeah, I am that old, a Japanese anime series called Mobile Suit Gundam launched in Japan. It told a tale of future humanity that had colonised space with settlements on both planets and floating colonies called sides. The Earth Federation Space Force ran the whole shebang, but some colonies had banded together to claim independence, calling themselves the Principality of Zeon. With nuclear weapons banned, both sides armed themselves with mobile suits, giant bipedal vehicles designed for combat on land and in space. Mobile Suit Gundam was set in this period, and told the tale of Amuro Ray, a teenage kid who discovers a super-secret new Federation mobile suit called a Gundam. He then finds himself the only person able to pilot it, and ends up fighting for the Federation against the Principality of Zeon and his arch-nemesis Char Aznable. Japanese model manufacturer Bandai saw potential in the franchise, and started to work with Sunrise to exclusively produce kits based on the mobile suits and Gundams in the show. Now, 40 years later, there are many, many hundreds of kits available, spanning all of the many different TV series and films that have since been produced. Bandai and Sunrise work together to produce both the anime and the models, hand in hand. It's a huge cultural phenomenon in Japan and the Asian territories. But what are Gunpla and Gundam? Well, the Japanese love them some portmanteau, which means combining words. And Gunpla is a portmanteau of 3 words: Gundam and plastic model. Gundam plastic models are called Gunpla, and it's the name for kits based on this franchise. Gundam is also a portmanteau, and that's of the words gun and freedom, although that one's a bit more ropey. Gunpla are models of the mobile suits that feature in the anime. Gundam themselves are mobile suits, but not all mobile suits are Gundams. It's kinda hard to define, but Gundams are generally the hero vehicles, one-offs that are massively superior to the mass-produced grunt mobile suits of the enemy, which I like to think of as knackered Russian tanks. It's all very complicated. Anyway, let's look at the kits themselves, which is why you're watching. Aside from a small number of exceptions, Gunpla kits are articulated, posable push-fit or snap-fit models. Now, those of you who are seasoned modelers may balk at the mention of snap-fit, but please blank from your memory any snap-fit kit you may have made in the past. Outside of Bandai, no one knows how to make good snap-fit models, and most are pretty bad. Bandai changes everything. Gunpla are some of the most finely engineered kits available anywhere, and despite not being traditional kits, should not be considered as children's toys. If you've made a Bandai Star Wars kit, you know how awesome Bandai's technology is. By their nature, the joy of Gunpla is that the build process is just the most fun you can have. Everything just fits beautifully, leaving you with much more time to concentrate on the best part, painting and weathering as you see fit. Bandai produces some of the finest mouldings you can get, and every kit is a delight. Now, Gunpla are a little different from most other kits, in that they don't catalogue them by scale. They're actually classified by grade. Although there are set scales, you would describe a kit by its grade, which would tell you both the size and complexity of the model. Let's take a look. There are several grades in Gunpla. By far the most common is high grade, or HG. These kits are 1/144th scale, typically a few inches tall, and are the simplest kits. Often they have relatively small part counts, simple assembly, and can be put together quickly. Many include stickers instead of colour separated parts and are fun little weekend projects. There is a huge catalogue of HG kits. Now you may also see them catalogued further by what anime series they are from, such as High Grade Universal Century or HGUC, which denotes the vehicle is from the main original story timeline called the Universal Century Timeline. Or something like HG Gundam The Origin or HG Iron-Blooded Orphans, HG Gundam Age, things like that, showing they are from different series. Confusingly, the anime series tend to be either in the original Mobile Suit Gundam timeline, the Universal Century, or a totally different parallel timeline. That's also really confusing, but don't worry about it. HG kits are great for fun little weekend builds, or for you to modify, or just as a fun way to dip your toe into the world of Gunpla. Often some cleanup work is needed to hide seam lines, and markings are provided as stickers. But don't think that's all there is. Oh, it gets much better. Next up is Master Grade or MG. These kits are in 1/100 scale and are far more detailed and intricate than HG kits. They feature a fully articulated inner frame or skeleton, often including articulated hands and fingers around which the exterior armour goes. They often feature parts in multiple colours to create colour separation, rather than relying on stickers, and have more gimmicks, features and often transformations, and usually include a pilot figure. Being 1/100 scale, they are bigger than HG kits, and this grade is usually reserved for the most popular mobile suits and Gundams. Usually, many seam lines in these kits are hidden as panel lines, so not too much cleanup work is needed, if any. Markings are usually provided as stickers and dry rub transfers, although there is a range of master grade kits designed by legendary Japanese mecha designer Hajime Katoki, referred to as Ver-Car or Version Car, which in all but a few cases favour water slide decals over stickers. Then there is Perfect Grade or PG. These are the ultimate Gunpla, Bandai's flagship grade. At 1/60th scale, these models are huge and have an incredibly complex inner frame and build, often involving working pistons, mechanical elements, lighting, some perfect grade kits include all the lighting, high part counts and incredible detail. You will truly marvel at the engineering that Bandai has put into them, as they are the most intricate and articulated of all the figures, with, for example, fully articulated hands and fingers and opening panels. Whereas an HG may be a fun weekend project, a perfect grade build is something that you can spend weeks working on, not least because you really will want to lavish these with the best paint jobs and weathering you can muster. Markings tend to be included as stickers or dry rubs in some cases, and the range of perfect grade kits is small, with one being released maybe every few years, and it's reserved for only the most popular mobile suits. Real Grade, or RG, is also a very popular grade. It sits between Master Grade and Perfect Grade in complexity, but it's in the 1/144 scale like high grade kits. It's great if you like the smaller size of HG kits but want the detail and complexity of the bigger Master Grade and Perfect Grade kits. There are some other outlier grades like Mega Size. These are simple HG level models that are in a huge 1/48 scale. Or no grades, which are usually simple HG level kits in 1/100 scale. Nowadays they're also known as RE100. But ultimately, just go for the mobile suit that you think looks coolest. So, there we have it. A quick primer as to what Gunpla actually is. Now, if you are asking, should I try this out? Then the answer is, do you like fun? Then yes. They are nothing but fun. They look cool and they're brilliant if you're trying to get a youngster into model making. But even if you are a hardcore, serious, grown-up veteran model maker, then you'll still have great fun. The build is always an absolute breeze, and you can spend much more time focusing on the painting and the weathering. And best of all, with Gunpla, there are no rules as to how to paint them. You can paint them however you want. There is no such thing as rivet counting in this genre. There is no right or wrong. There's a well-known phrase in the Gunpla world that sums it up perfectly. Gunpla is freedom.